What's up, guys? Sorry, I've been a little bit inconsistent with my uploads. I haven't been playing as much as I'd like. This is a match on Ancient Spires, ranked match against Big Burger Boy. I played against him before once. I actually lost against him, but this is a rematch. He's playing Roos, so I was a little bit worried, and I wanted to kind of try out a build that I had done against Roos before, which is fast stable into scouts and horsemen to kind of deny the early boar. I do kind of mess up the build a little bit, but it kind of works out in the end. We're able to macro out of it, and we get a bunch of really good raids on him in the match. We got a pretty decent spawn. My Uvu is going to be down here, but since I am going for kind of fast stable, I wasn't really worried about it. So I just set up here by gold. I do have berries too, which is going to kind of help if I fall behind in food. So I started to spot out the deer here. My stable is up, and I'm going to drop a scout. So it's a pretty late scout compared to a roost scout, but the plus side is that they're usually, kind of working on deer and stuff. I do miss this sheep, unfortunately. Over here, Burger Boy, he is 3 on wood, 6 on food. He scouted this deer patch. He missed one deer, looks like. And he's sending out another scout from his hunting cabin and a third scout as well. So, yeah, he definitely had a lot of time in shooting that first deer patch, and he doesn't go after this second deer patch. He might go for it with his last scout. Back to me. So our scout is working on this deer patch. Our con is kind of scouted up around here. I'm gonna have him circle around and just collect sheep. And the third scout is hitting this back corner. We do notice the sheep, so we are going to start shooting the sheep here. There's also a wolf. That's one thing too. I missed out on a lot of wolves. I think that's the only wolf I killed this whole game. So if we look at Burger Boy, he's already up to 105 bounty gold, so he's doing pretty good. He's shooting wolves. Got 5 sheep there. He's got 3 wolves over here. So yeah, there's a big difference in terms of what I could have been doing there, because I totally missed those wolves as well. I ran right through that area. Yeah, as you can see, yeah, I ran right through there. So kind of a mistake on my part, but yeah, against Roos, I got a lot of work to do. I'm pretty sloppy in general this gameplay. Let's lock my camera. I'll try to cast a little bit and give you an idea of what I'm kind of doing. I'm microing the 3 scouts right now. I do spot the boar, and that was kind of my main objective with my scouts, actually, is to find the boar and set up a tower. So those 2 villagers on wood, I'm sending one over right now onto that board to drop a tower. And it's kind of a close tower to me, so I guess that's why I kind of prioritize dropping on it. I mean, there could have been a boar, I guess, right here in that area where I'm scouting. But this one being closer, I was kind of worried about a proxy base. You never really know. Sometimes the Bruce players do this proxy aggressive play, and it's really hard to stop with their production so close. So we do have a good amount of sheep coming back to us. We're scouting around. We see his base here. We're microing our scout there. Back at our TC, we're sending our con over. We're probably microing the sheep here a little bit. We do see his scout up there by our TC as well, but he was out of range. He's staying out of range as well. And we do notice the boar up top, and we do have enough resources to age up. So we're going to age up real quick, and then we're going to... we're checking on this area down here. We do see a sheep there. We're probably going to send the scout over. Yeah, we're clicking around on the mini-map, giving those scouts orders right now. And so I see this other back boar, so that's kind of a boar that he could be taking and going for. So I'm taking my con, I'm scouting the front of his base that still needs scouting. And as you can see over here, my other scout has run past their boar. He was just checking it, and he's running back to base to drop off a sheep, I'm pretty sure. We do see him scouting us down here. We're going to move our stable anyways, though, to the Uvu. Just get it placed. This tower has finished, and we're going to send our a free villager up to the other board to go build a tower. We kind of seemed like we misclicked there. So we're dropping that tower up there now. You see the green dot up here on the mini map, and he's up to feudal. If we check out Burger Boy's camera, he plays in zoomed in, so he's hitting me there. I say zoomed in, but it's classic, and he's got 16 on wood and 3 on food. He is pulling a barracks out right now. It's on my stable, so it's a good reaction to deal with that. Though early nights would have been definitely more troublesome for me to deal with, but they are very resource intensive. Over here, you can see we are dealing with his scout by dropping a horseman and pulling one of our scouts over to attack him. We have aged up and we're dropping a couple of gurs. We're going to start rotating those gurs and we're starting to tap up with our villager finally. It is a little bit unfortunate because you're going to see that he has a villager pull happening right now. If we go over to his camera, I don't think he... Yeah, you can't see that I'm building a tower there, but we are tapping up and he has a villager pull going right now. And I'm going to unlock the camera real quick for my view, but you can see, yeah, he's pulling 8 villagers here, just the typical, and it's just really bad timing. If we had this up, this would have been huge. So, you know, pulling earlier another villager to secure this after dropping that first tower was probably worth it. And try to defend the villager with my scout, but we needed like 5 more seconds. So, you know, even that little bit of a misclick down here would have been that 2-3 seconds closer, and it might have tapped up, you know. So little detail. We do come in with a horseman, but he's got spearmen. Our Khan is trying to pick off this reinforcing spearmen, but there's not much we can do to contest this, so we just cancel our tower and we just fall back here. There's not much we can do to fight this at all. And he's still in his base collecting heavy on wood, and we're starting to drop infrastructure. We see spearmen, we've confirmed spearmen. So we're dropping archery range, we're dropping a blacksmith. We do have 5 on gold, so we have more than enough to be able to age up and produce Mangudai if we need to. We have 2 villagers in the meantime collecting from this gerb, but I know my sheep is starting to run out. We do have 7 still. I didn't see these 4 here. I only saw those 3, so I thought I was a lot lower than I was. But it's an okay transition anyways, because we have 3 collecting, so that's enough to kind of maintain us, and we have 3 villagers in bank. So we're going to drop a tower immediately. We didn't want to get caught like we did last time. He drops a wooden fortress, and he's dropping a TC. So it's a good play. Definitely a little bit later with a TC. Sometimes you see it sooner. But yeah, kind of a bummy situation. We could have definitely contested there. So he's attacking us here. We garrison our vills, and we're going to be able to take out this scout. And we do miss a chance on that spearman. And we're going to build a gur here. I was pulling this gur that was on the berries initially. Sorry, initially, but I'm going to pull it back and set it up again. And I garrison my Mangudai and my Khan here. Here you can see I'm trying to, yeah, there we go, target fire onto the boar, take it down. If you just do it with a garrison, an ungarrisoned tower against the boar will burn down your tower. So always garrison a couple of troops. And I'm pulling a couple guys because I didn't want my tower to take too much damage. And I'm pulling now the gur that was on berries onto there. I want to pull these 2 berry villagers over there. And I was going to pull these guys over as well. But I do kind of mess up, and it takes me a little bit of time to do that. So boar is dead. Gur's going to get set up, and we're repositioning our army. He has started to wall the map, it looks like, which is a good reaction. He is also spending resources on the dock, on the ships, which isn't a terrible idea as long as it's only 1 ship. I would say as Roos. Max 2 ships. It's just, you know, Roos is such a strong food gathering civ in terms of hunting and stuff. I don't know if you really want to be committing to any wood or any docks early. So, I mean, it's definitely viable, but I do think it's a little risky. We do run into a scout here, and we're going to start taking him out. We are going up to 2 archery ranges. I kind of felt like he might go into heavy spears. And so we're taking out his guy. He's trying to micro him away. We do have a Mangudai here, and he's running into our TC range. So picked it up, and we have a decent split right now to age up. We have 18 on food and 7 at wood at the 10-minute mark. 8 villagers collecting these deer over here. And as you can see, we don't have really good vision of the map right now. Our villagers got this production. We did get upgraded arrows first. And we are producing Mangudai from our one range. We should be producing from both. So a little bit of a mistake. I was kind of looking into castling up, but I was also at the same time wanted to apply pressure. I was gonna go check his stone up here for a second TC because I knew he was going for boar and stuff. So usually players just do the tower, but I didn't realize he already had a second TC. This is actually his third TC. So we come over on a really good time when he's just starting this town center. And focusing on the villagers as we run around. He's pulling his spearman to kind of cut us off if we do a full wrap. And we're able to pick off the second villager. So with one villager, this tap-up time is going to be really slow. He does pull him off and start tapping up a wooden fortress. At this point, we've selected our horsemen, and they are coming over. We just hotkey them over because we are microing pretty constantly here. If we go onto locked camera, you'll see kind of what we're doing here. So we're just trying to keep our Mangudai close enough to these villagers, taking damage. You know, sometimes we have to tank that spear to make sure that these villagers get kind of pulled. And we get another 2 villagers here. Our horsemen have arrived and are going to clean up this archer kind of damage that we're taking. And even though we're losing our con here and letting that spearman hit us, we were able to pull off those villagers, which is really big. And now that he's got a spearman here, that was kind of a bad time to micro, but you can see we got enough resources to age up. So we're aging up with our step readout over there, and I misclicked and I clicked the curl tie, and that's why it took me so long. I was double clicking there. And yeah, the 2 Mangudai we have are going to clear up this archer. He cancels it, so he saves his resources, which is a good move on his part, as you can see. Well, I guess we can't see. Let's see the whole map real quick. Where is that second team? We're going to unlock the camera real quick. High Trade House, so he's aging up over there. And he isn't going for that other TC anywhere. So I wonder if he lost those resources. I felt like he canceled that, so I don't know where his resources went. Okay, let's lock up. He does cancel that tower for sure. And he's able to recover those resources. Like, or at least partial, because I'm burning it down. I guess you get reduced resources that get returned to you. It takes a little bit too long in canceling it. Here we see this dock. He pulls a villager to start repairing. I think that's a little bit of a mistake there because he's just going to lose a villager. Go count. We're at 38. He's at 46. So even though he's at 2 TCs, we have been able to kill a bunch of villagers and keep this game pretty even. We're just doing some stuff here at our base. We have tons of wood, so I'm looking to go a second TC. But I also didn't want to mess up my micro here and lose this army too much. And he hits Castle Age, but I know I'm up on the way, so I wasn't too worried about it. And we do see if we go to our vision only, we see these walls just barely. Even though we don't have a con, we can kind of see what's happening here. Villagers pull. We see infrastructure getting built. And we're trying to rally our horsemen up here. He does try to sneak in archery range here, which is really ballsy. I definitely wouldn't recommend it. And we're just sending our. You see, we're clicking down here. You saw our camera jump down because we're gonna click down there and send our army and see what we can see. We're sending our courses up there to hit his base. We're kind of microing out here. We're pulling out a GUR. We're setting it up on the next deer patch. And since the other one deer patch is going to finish, we do see this dock, so we're going to check for fishing ships. We see his army, and it's all archers, basically. Luckily, we have a cav. We do have horsemen being double produced, veteran Mangudai and Q, as well as lancers. So we see the 2 things here. We know he doesn't have vision, so he's not going to see our cav very well until they're on him, and that's kind of what happens. So we're able to jump him really good here. And we got able to clean up this force here, which was nice. And this is kind of helping us keep kind of momentum on him. Even though, if you can see in the back corner here, he's really starting to set up a big base. Let's just hop back onto free camera real quick. His high trade house, he's collecting sheep over here. It's an interesting high trade house. It's not the best in terms of gold production. You know, maybe even back here in this corner would have been a little bit better, but it is a lot safer where it is right now. But yeah, even right here, I don't know. I'm not sure if that was the best position. We are trying to skirmish here a little bit with this force against these horse archers, and we do a little bit of damage. And we are going to sacrifice these guys, but we are taking down these fishing ships. So those are expensive ships. They're 150 each. Yeah. So he's lost 300, 450 wood in fish ships. So that's definitely an expensive, some expensive damage he's lost. So he's got 5 horse archers in terms of military. We got 10 military, 46 eco. He's getting a monastery, 46 eco, and he's got 50 eco, 8 military. So yeah, we're pretty even right now, and that's just been thanks to most of our raids here. Our infrastructure hasn't really been upgraded. We are tapping up our second TC now. It's a little late, but better late than never. And you can see we have 34 villagers on food. So this GER that we moved earlier, we're starting to take advantage now. These villagers are going to go idle. Let's lock our camera back on so you can kind of see. Yeah, so these idle villagers, we're going to pull them. I think I sent them on to wood or gold. I think I might have sent them on to gold. Yeah, I sent them on to gold there. And clicking up my army, it looks like I'm repositioning my production where I'm going to be putting it. I was double checking that my production was selected. Um, Villagers just finished the board too. But you see he's pushing me, he's probing me with these forces, so he sees, I'm not sure if he sees my forces. I'm going to pull here, I'm going to kind of make him fight my guy here. I am able to see with my con, this hunting cabin going up, and then my cav is going to raid here. And while he tries to pull away and run, my Mangudai are going to stick to him, and we're going to be able to take him out, and we're going to aggro my horseman onto that hunting cabin. Over here, we run into a scout. So he was scouting us out, but he gets picked off by those 2 Mangudai, which is a good timing for us. We do have to re-aggro our horses onto that villager. And we have 22 villagers in queue. So this game, we definitely did a much better job in not messing up our villager production. And if we go to just reveal map all real quick, he is walled. His northern base looks almost completely. There's a little bit of a gap, and here at the south there's one gap. So, and actually it's funny in this game he mentions like, how did you get through a couple times? I just kind of clicked up to that base on the northern corner a couple times. So I'm taking this cav force and wrapping around the flank. I'm trying not to idle my military in this match. I'm trying to keep them busy at all times. I pulled some villagers to go build that ubu. Villagers. I'm gonna have build a pasture and start working on my pasture income since it's non-existent. We do see this dock. We see again another larger fishing ship. So at that point, again, I don't know if it's worth it. He must have been suffering for food. I guess he was. He was. Income per minute, actually, you know, he's actually got more income per minute than I do. So I've got 60 eco, and he has actually surpassed his villager count at this point. So that's a really big thing. That second TC has really helped equalize us. There's a hole in this wall here, and we were able to raid through this with our Mangudai. Take out that fishing ship. That's another 150 wood, so that's expensive again. We set that dock on fire, and that's plenty for us. We're just going to fall back. Those villagers that we pulled, I believe from Boar, build that Uvu, build that the monastery or a prayer tent, I believe it is. And the prayer tent is now double producing scholars, and we are producing lancers, and we're upgrading to veteran horsemen as well. As you can see, let's unlock our camera real quick. We do have these guys on a mission up to the north. I don't know. I think they ran through a hole in the wall right here. I think, yeah, later on we find out that the hole in the wall is right here. But I just clicked them up here to go check out these deer. And sure enough, he's got villagers on this deer. And he loses. So we're up to 66 eco, and he's to 60. So we're actually taking a pretty good lead at this point. Let's lock up our camera again. Yeah, and you can hear us messaging. He just asked me, "How did you get through?" And I just said, "I just clicked up there." To be honest, I have no idea how I got through. Clicked up to that corner, and we're gonna get the burn down here. This is actually one match where we got a pretty good amount of rating income, and I get the upgrade for it, but it would have been better to get it earlier. We have a second force of cav coming through. You can see it coming through the middle of the mini map. TC is still double producing, and this second reinforcement group is running into troops. So I was a little worried there, and we are kind of messing up our relic pickup when those monks get produced or shamans. One of them you're supposed to split at production, in which we don't. We see that this wall isn't finished all the way, so we pull our cav over and across. He kind of says, "What the fuck?" He was surprised, thought he had fully walled it, and he didn't. We're gonna move our gold income to this front. Yeah, he see, he messaged me. What the fuck? He was confused as shit. Um, Burned down 3 fishing ships there, so that's 450 wood. That's another. So he's lost over 1,000 wood at this point in terms of those fishing ships. I don't know if they've paid back in terms of the food yet. This one lone Mangudai, we're gonna just run through his base, see what we can see. We run around the side here, we see nothing. We are building towers before we start collecting, and it also gives time for our landmark to set up. And so our villagers don't do any long distance mining. We've got a good mass of Mangudai in the middle, a good amount of forces in the middle in general, just kind of massing. And we finally did go up to 3 stables, but I did feel like we needed some more. You can see that our wood eco is doing really good, and we pulled 10 villagers to start dropping a bunch of stables. And after they drop stables, I'm going to have them build a couple of pastures and rotate. Those couple knights that were getting caught out, we're going to pull them around the backside of his base. Those 3 idle villagers, I think I pulled them to build a pasture. These guys see that there's no hole in the wall anymore to the south, so they're going to start burning. My Mangudai mass, I just keeping a mass, I keep it in the middle, and sure enough, he's just pulling through with a warrior monk at the same time. So we're going to be able to get that warrior monk and keep him from picking up that relic that's on the north side, right next to his base. And we're going to send our one priest over to pick up the close one, and then another one doing some micro clicks, some shift clicks to avoid this Springle tower, and to make sure that monk is able to pick that up and return to base safely. And we're just burning down here walls to the south, kind of pulling his forces in 2 different directions. And yeah, still trying to keep our macro going here at the same time. We're the 18 villagers on gold with the step readout is nice because it's basically like 24. This is where we find that hole in the wall and we fully confirm it, and we run into his force, which is mostly, I want to say, archers and men-at-arms. We do see villagers coming up to patch the hole in the wall. So the Mangudai are going to be able to do pretty good against this with that meat shield of knights that we had. But we do have to fall back, but we're not too worried about it because we have 5 more knights coming up. And once this man-at-arm dies, he's got 2 more man-at-arms, and this is all archers at this point. So we're able to do a lot of damage here and really wipe out this force here. I'm kind of curious. So our military at this point is at 35, and his military is at 18. So we're definitely doing really good there. He's building siege workshops. It looks like we're on his screen right now. He's got a nice little force down there. So he's got isolated pockets of defense. He's finished walled up there. So yeah, he's spread out and he's managing his base actually pretty well. Go back to us. We can see relics coming back. Again, we're up to 36 villagers. I think villagers are now rallied onto food. I felt like I had a good amount of villagers already onto wood. And we have reorganized. I wish it showed the control groups. That would be nice. But we re-clicked up our. We have 2 towers here, so you're gonna see me grab a couple villages and drop a couple more towers just for safety reasons. Reasons isn't the word. For safety reasons, and we're floating a lot of wood, but I kind of. Yeah, you can see here I'm dropping three siege workshops because I felt like he was starting to kind of, we're in Castle Age. He's Roos. He's kind of seeing that his army's fighting with a bunch of Mangudai, so I think there's definitely a good possibility of him dropping mangonels. And I also want mangonels. My comp only works with siege in late game, so I did want to start transitioning. We break through here, and happens to be building a wall. He's quick walling, which is fine, but we have too many units here, and we're just going to pick the section he isn't working on, burn through, work our way through, and we see he's got an army here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to skirmish with the Mangudai. and drop the defense arrow, kind of tank up as much damage as we could. We probably should have dropped the defense arrow a little later, or just dropped the attack speed arrow. But we're going to take that fight there, and it's going to be a pretty decent fight. Here I see a lot of villagers kind of idling, so I pull a bunch of villagers and have them drop a bunch of pastures. Again, my shift clicking there is a little slow. It needs to be a little bit faster. And we're sending our troops up north. We see his production. We knew his production was here. So we don't know when mangonels are coming out. We don't see timing on mangonels. But we see his army is kind of small. If we can sit on this production, it's going to be huge, because this is where his siege is going to come out, and this is where it's going to counter us. So we do see the siege. We aren't able to dodge that shot, unfortunately. We need to come back in, and that would have been probably the better move. But we're able to hit that mangonel with our cav, and we're nice and tight here up against his production buildings, which is good because he got two siege workshops in the range. So we're going to hamper his military a bunch by doing this. We come back, we see that there's a mangonel, so we take it out with our cav, and we keep burning down here. We are rallying our cav up there at this point, and we just grab those idle vills, and we're sending them up there. We're building GERs up there, and they're going to go resource collect. Again, another mangonel, so that's definitely really painful for him, losing that. And we do see this keep coming up. And unfortunately, we hadn't burned through this wall yet, so this is a control group 3, this is control group 2, and this is control group 1. And we're just pulling up here, and we're trying to kill a bunch of villagers. So if we can see here, he's got like 20 villagers. We've already killed like 3 or 4. And yeah, we're just mowing through villagers right now. And we got 103 eco, and he's got 66. So you can tell that the eco damage has been very significant in this game at this point. And he hasn't been able to raid us, and we've just been constantly raiding and attacking him. And we are finally burning this down, but because that keep is up, we can dive it with cavalry, but it's going to be super costly, and we don't really have a really lethal mass of cav to just kind of one-hit it. So it's not really worth. You can see the control group 3. I usually keep as my alt group of cav, but this is now control group 2 that is running up and around. And you see, yeah, up there. I'm looking up there because I'm shift clicking them on a route to go harass that northern base that I know is up there. And if we click off of free camo for a second, this northern base is booming. He has 40 villagers up here. So if I hit this, that is his economy. So he does send troops up over there. It looks like he has noticed. But we're here at the front of his base, and we're just kind of holding here with what is normally my alt group of cav. And we take that charge up against the spearman because he doesn't have enough to really fully fight us there, especially with the Mangudai. And we're just kind of holding this hole in the wall. We do see his villagers rotating up. So we're going to pull our knights up and over. I should have sent my Mangudai over as well. That was kind of a mistake on my part. You can see our infrastructure is rolling. We're getting close to 200 pops, so we can start thinking about aging up as well. We mess up there, and I'm re-shift clicking. I'm re-clicking all of these because I messed up a click. And I lose all my horsemen on that other raiding party as well. So again, a little bit of a mistake. But we do drop 9 more archery ranges, so our infrastructure is really, really taking off at this point. It's really set up. Eco is at 105. Villager production has stopped. I don't know how ideal that is at this point. 18 villagers with the step readout is actually close to, I want to say, it's 50% more, so 9 more, so we're talking like 27. 9 more villagers, so we're like, I don't know, 114 villagers at this point. But the big thing too is we're getting a little bit of raiding income, and that's kind of helping sustain us a little bit as well. And we do have 3 relics as well for gold, so that's also helping us. So we can look at income per minute. Yeah, we got a lot more food. Wood, he's beating us, and that's probably mostly because he's got that bonus to wood. And gold will just double his income right now, so that's pretty big. We're macroing over here. We have started building mangonels, which is going to start stabilizing. We are getting greased axles. And we got at least 20 pastures set up. There we go. Another side force of cav burning down. We do have sacred site kind of controlling the middle here. And I probably could have started capping sacred sites earlier. But I don't. So A little bit of a mistake there on my part. Hopping down here, making sure we're burning down there. At this point, I hop over to this Uvu, double check that the Uvu production for the additional torches and whistling arrows. Those upgrades do help out, especially the whistling arrows in this late game. That extra time with the bonuses is pretty helpful. And we are sending our monks to cap the sacred sites. And right now, I'm pulling some villagers to build some TCs. Again, I kind of misclick, and so I have to reselect a villager to do it. Our cav is coming through, and luckily we see that his spearmen were showing up at the same time, so we just pull out. We're re-aggroing our cav up to the north to start attacking that little wall section by the dock. Start burning houses, tons of sheep carcasses. No sheep up at this point, and we have 25 pastures. Burning through our sheep at this point. But we are aging up with 30 villages, which is going to kind of help give a little bit of a break for our pastures to catch up. And we are going to drop a couple more pastures as well on the Uvu. Uvu as well is going to be connected to our Seeds Workshop. We left a little spot there, so it's going to get boost to all of our buildings. And we're just checking out the speed of the villagers on the wood there, that they're not going too far. Gold is still finishing up, and we are dropping just a bunch of towers up there to make sure that we defend that if he's pushing us really hard. You know, I can't assume that I'm way ahead. He's looking to age up at this point, which might, let's see his eco. He's at 140. Yeah, he can start looking at aging up. It's a little preemptive, but I think he knows that I've aged up, so now he's kind of looking to answer and age up at this point as well. And yeah, so here we're able to come burn through here, and we are going to just focus on houses. The dock is whatever at this point. It's just going to take really long to burn down, so we're just going to burn down houses, and that's going to do a lot of damage to hit for in terms of housing him, and it's giving us a lot of eco. So with those two houses, 2 more houses, and he would be happy. So we see his army kind of fighting us. We reposition our Mangos ready. Notice that this is all pretty much just archers. So we definitely could have fought this a little bit better. We probably should have just died the Mangudai, but no biggie. We did see him aging up with high armory. It was just at the edge of our vision. We demos the wall, so we just pull our siege back. We were trying to snipe his bills. And we're just going to send in our knights. He's got a few spearmen here, like 10, 12, but we have an equal amount of knights. And we have Mangonel support, so the Mangonels hit, the Mangudai hit, and it's just a lot of damage. We do send our knights up to start killing villagers. Landmark. We are hitting the landmark now. We are burning it down, so we're getting a bunch of resources out of burning it down. And we are positioning our step readout and our villagers to the south here to start collecting gold. We don't want to go for a forward goal. We just went for a safe goal. At this point, that's pretty critical in the game. Timer coming down. We want it to be able to really contest this properly. And his high armory, this front line, especially having 2 siege workshops back there, was kind of a misplay by him. He definitely could have dropped it in the back, kind of up here. And we see his Mangonels, so we're just going to dive his Mangonels. We can see his villagers down here because of our Khan, I believe. And so we're just sending our Khan down there. It might be because we also have a tower. So we send our Khan over to that gold line. We're just, macroing behind this microing, and it's pretty intensive, and that's why we're kind of hopping all over. We see his villagers run, and we're going to take our Mangudai, and I think we run him down. We run him back to our Mangudai, I'm pretty sure. And we start talking a little bit. He mentions it felt like I was map hacking because I was just kind of all over the place, but it's just the aggressive playstyle, and it's really important. We don't notice that we're getting sniped right now by the Springles because we're writing messages like a dumbass. So that's definitely don't do that. But we already have gotten our Springles are showing up right now, unfortunately, after we've lost our Mangonels. But we're getting our improved roller shutter triggers. So he's not going to be able to compete with us now. So let's just take this off real quick. Overall view. Yeah, we're at 115 eco. He's at 86. So yeah, it's definitely over because he's got to push us off a sacred site right now too. Sacred tracker. It doesn't say how much time is left, but there wasn't that much time left on it. But now we got a pretty solid army of siege here, and we have a base of towers that we can fall back on. and we just sniped his springolds with our springolds. He had 2 of them, and our Mangudai were coming around, and they were going to wrap around this wood line to see what we could see. But I knew most of his eco was up here. That's why he was focusing so hard on walling it. But it was a good game to our opponent, and it was an interesting match. Definitely, there's definitely some mistakes and a lot of misclicks on my part that were expensive in terms of APM and time. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope to catch you on the next one.